The U.S. State Department is once again calling on the Iranian government to release a Christian pastor who is facing the death penalty.
This case has led to a worldwide outcry on behalf of the Iranian pastor, and the American Center for Law and Justice is also working on his behalf. Gary Lane has the story.
34-year-old Pastor Youcef Nadarkhani had challenged a government requirement that Christian students be forced to recite the Quran and learn Islam in the public schools. He's the leader of one of the country's fastest-growing house churches, now 400 members. Pastor Youcef was arrested in October 2009. He was eventually charged with leaving the Islamic faith, even though he claims he was never a Muslim. He was sentenced to death. Jordan Sekulow of the American Center for Law and Justice was recently called to the U.S. State Department for discussions on the Nadarkhani case. Sekulow says he's encouraged by the U.S. government's response.
The State Department, even in light of the nuclear situation, is very much engaged on this, has not forgotten about Pastor Youcef, and will not.
In a speech at the U.S. Institute for Peace on Wednesday, Ambassador Suzanne Johnson Cook took up his cause. She said, "I want to echo President Obama's and Secretary Clinton's and repeat my own condemnation of his conviction and our calls on Iranian authorities to release Pastor Nadarkhani immediately. I urge all of you to do the same."
Ambassador Johnson Cook's statement was great. It's exactly what we've been looking for from the State Department. And, you know, at this point in the situation with the nuclear Iran, it was great to be there and just be assured that they're not going to forget about Pastor Nadarkhani.
Nadarkhani's case has gained international attention, and now Ayatollah Khamenei is personally deciding his fate. Christians around the world are praying that he will have mercy on the pastor and return him to his family. Gary Lane, CBN News.
We encourage Christians around the world to contact their governments. I think at this point we have to take this into the United Nations. Part of the Charter of the United Nations and part of the declaration that all countries adhere to when they join that group is that there is freedom of conscience, that their citizens would enjoy freedom of conscience. That means the ability to profess whatever religion they believe. Iran is clearly saying we don't belong to that, we don't adhere to that, and it's time for the UN to take action.